Welcome to Tea with Honey. It's your girl HoneyDaVinci and I'm back with another video. So tonight I'll be doing another segment of the review and I'll be covering the key moments of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta Season 9 Episode 7. So the episode starts off right where it left off with Kyiomi and Cheyenne coming face to face and, Shooter basically leaving Cheyenne stuck without an explanation as he arrives at game night with another woman on his arm. Like I said in my last video, I felt like Cheyenne really played herself by allowing that woman to see her sweat. Cheyenne keeps trying to get at Kyiomi. Then that's when Kyiomi starts trying to fight with Cheyenne as well. And my whole thing is, what is the anger between the women? Like, why whenever things like this happen, a woman's first instinct is to go for the other woman? Shooter is right there. This is not a fight between you and Kyiomi. This is a fight between you and Shooter. He's the one who deceived you. He's the one who was supposed to protect your heart. He's the one who's been lying to you. Kyiomi owes you absolutely no loyalty. And Kyiomi is not your friend. She doesn't know you from a can of paint. Now, on the flip side, I felt really bad for Cheyenne. She was very heartbroken. And, she was very devastated. She did let it be known that apparently Kyiomi could have possibly been sleeping with Scrapp. And so that was a bomb that was dropped. And so we're all pondering, like, has she been sleeping with Scrapp? Because apparently Cheyenne has caught Kyiomi coming out of Scrapp's house with the overnight bag. You know what I mean? And when Cheyenne goes out into the parking lot with Scrapp, she really breaks down. And she's distraught and she's crying over Shooter because she really genuinely loved him. And it is really amazing that she had absolutely no idea that this man was not interested in her. But what I really think it is, being that they have been together for 2 years, when you with anybody for over a year, y'all go through them ups and downs. So maybe that's why she wasn't prepared for this, even aware that he just completely was not interested in her the least bit. And so she cried on Scrapp's shoulder about it and tried to tried to go off on Scrapp. Like, who is this girl? Why was she at your house? He like, girl, I don't know. I was just hitting that. Like, I didn't know she was hitting, bro.
Wow.
And then we see Kyiomi on the other side of the game night store, probably at the front door while Cheyenne and Scrapp were in the parking lot. We see Kyiomi talking to Shooter, and Shooter's questioning her about it, like, so what's going on with you and Scrapp? Like, you was messing with him? And Kyiomi just bullface lies to him, like, no, it was just music. And then we see a clip, because them camera that Love and Hip Hop is shady. They gonna give us all the good tea now. They gonna make sure we know the truth behind the scenes now. So then they show a clip of Kyiomi rubbing on the thigh of Scrapp, letting him know that she has a crush on him. And if we know Scrapp as well as we do know Scrapp, we know that Scrapp ain't afraid to take charge and assert himself on getting some ass. And I know they might not have slept with each other, but it's a very slim chance, in my opinion, that they haven't already slept with each other. Okay? Cheyenne caught her leaving his house with an overnight bag. She's on camera rubbing his thigh, which we know that's usually where the dick is, and letting him know that she, is feeling the kid. And so I definitely feel like Shooter played himself, because I feel like this is just another example of the 80-20 rule. And, you know, this is like something that most women already know about. For those who don't know, old heads, like, you know, our aunties, they always teach us about the 80-20 rule. What the 80-20 rule is: when a man is dating a woman that's only giving him 80% of what he wants, like she cooking, she cleaning, she making sure he good, she might not be the sexiest woman, she might not be keeping herself in shape, or maybe she's not, you know, fun enough. Maybe she's more of a homebody. She works hard and isn't fun, or likes to go to the club with him or do the activities that he likes. Who knows? It could be anything. But that little 20% that he's not having, a man will sometimes magnify that and will use that as an excuse to go roam and find him another chick, i.e. Kyiomi. And so he get with a chick like Kyiomi, who's giving him that 20% that he been looking for, i.e. letting him sleep around with other chicks. Because you know that's what Shooter is looking for. He's looking for somebody that's going to let him smash and dash and then come back whenever he feel like it. You know what I mean? So Kyiomi's offering him that 20%. Meanwhile, Cheyenne's over here helping him get businesses, helping him do all types of stuff, you know, to level him up. But that don't matter to him, because the fun is with Kyiomi. And so he's in a situation with a woman like Kyiomi, who's really only going to indulge him through the infatuation phase, indulge him through the, you know, honeymoon phase, and when things is cool, while she's reeling him in, he's going to eventually see that she's no different from any other woman. Because honestly, if Kyiomi was as unbothered as she'd like us to believe, she wouldn't have been trying to fight Cheyenne in the first place at all. If she was so cool with the fact that they were in an open relationship, she wouldn't have been putting her input in the first place. You get what I mean? It wouldn't have mattered whether or not Shooter had been lying to another female. It wouldn't have mattered that Cheyenne's heart was broken. There would have been no need to insert herself or to talk shit or to try to get a rise out of, you know, Cheyenne. You only do that when you press. And just like I said on the last episode, I thought it was peculiar that Kyiomi is okay with this open relationship when we know her to be on Bow Wow's back. And, you know, always be on him. She kept him on a very short leash when it came to women. So for her to just be willing to allow Shooter to do any and everything, it was really weird and really out of character for her, nonetheless. So after that, we see a scene with Erica and Kyiomi sitting down. And so, you know, the reason that they came together is because, as we all know, Erica used to be in a relationship with Bow Wow, and so has Kyiomi, and they both suffered through domestic violence situations. So they had a really deep talk about the situation with Bow Wow. And I remember when the situation happened with Kyiomi and Bow Wow, how people were dragging Kyiomi. People were literally dragging Kyiomi. I remember that so clearly on social media, like my Facebook friends, and they were going off about how, you know, if this was a man, the other way around, that we would have been going off about it, and this and that, and this and that, because, you know, he had scratches on his face and all that. And she had no visible marks on her. I'm like, well, maybe he had her in like a headlock or was pulling her hair or something, and she was scratching his face. Like, you never know what could have happened. And then, next thing you know, the video came out with them in the elevator and how aggressive he was in her face. Oh my gosh. And he was like snatching the keys out of her hands and things like that. And me personally, I know what it is like to be in a situation like that with a man. Like, unfortunately, I do. Like, I know what it's like to be in a relationship with a man who gets upset and they don't know how to control themselves, and so they want to get all in your face, and they want to buck up to you, and they want to act like they're going to hit you and things like that. And even if they don't put their hands on you, it can still be scary. It can still be, you know, something that you remember for the rest of your life, or something that makes you, you know, feel like afraid, you know what I mean? And so it was like just crazy, because prior to the video coming out, people were just dragging her and saying that, you know, she beat up Bow Wow and all these things, and no one thought that anything could have possibly happened where he might have done anything to her. And so when the video came out and she spoke about it, people didn't believe her. People blamed her. And a part of me believes her. You know, I don't know exactly what happened, but a part of me definitely believe her. And I already knew, like, when they said that Bow Wow had bite marks on his abdomen, it was like, why would he have bite marks on his stomach and scratches on his face? Clearly her head had to be down in some type of way. You get what I mean? And it automatically made me think of, you know, a woman basically trying to defend herself. You know what I mean? It's not like he had like black eyes, like she was in there rocking his shit. No, he has scratches on his face. Anytime you see someone who, even on like, you know, murder mystery shows, when someone is found, the first thing they look for is scratch marks. You know what I mean? The person, you're looking for a scratch mark. You're looking underneath the dead person's nails to see if there's skin under it, to see if the woman fought for her life. So scratching is kind of like a defense mechanism for women. You know what I mean? But people automatically assume that she was just this violent person. But so then after they talked about that, they talked about Sierra and Shooter, and also Cheyenne. And so, you know, she talked about how her and Shooter were in an open relationship, and how she's not really liking Cheyenne because Cheyenne is basic and all these things. And me personally, I don't feel like Cheyenne is basic. I feel like Cheyenne is a beautiful girl, and she's not promiscuous enough to fulfill the fantasy for Shooter. She doesn't hold the candle to Kyiomi, and I stand by that. She doesn't. I feel like Kyiomi is a better looking girl. But I also feel like Cheyenne is probably the better woman in the end. You know what I mean? Basic is a characteristic. It's not just the way a person looks. And I feel like the person with the basic personality is Kyiomi. I feel like Cheyenne is probably the woman that's going to make sure you're okay. Cheyenne's the woman that's probably going to make sure you got a meal, make sure that, you know, you saving money, you trying to accomplish your goals, pushing you to the next levels. And I feel like Kyiomi is only going to push you to a certain extent. You know what I mean? So, honestly, I feel like, yeah, you might look better than Cheyenne, but you ain't better than Cheyenne in any way, shape, or form. You know what I mean? And I can almost guarantee Cheyenne would have made sure that Shooter was straight for the rest of his life in any avenue that he tried to excel on. And I feel like Kyiomi is just like a woman that's here for the moment. You know what I mean? She's just here for the moment. She's not one of those people that's here for a lifetime. She's here for a moment. So then later in the episode, we see Cheyenne and Scrapp and Shooter and Kyiomi meeting up to have a talk. So they're in their cars. And so Kiyomi's going on and on about Cheyenne to freaking Shooter. And I'm trying to understand, y'all are in an open relationship. What is up with all these opinions, my girl? Why do you have so many opinions on the women that he sleeps with when he's not with you? That's not the way an open relationship works, sweetheart.
Oh, you are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
The same way you go out and sleep with whoever you sleep with, he goes out and sleep with whoever he sleep with. If you're okay with an open relationship, what is up with all these opinions? She's talking about something. So yeah, what you gonna do with her? Like, you're trying to make him not like her. You're trying to downplay her to him because she's making you feel insecure. And Shooter asked her, like, girl, are you getting jealous You know what I mean? She's like, oh, I'll never get jealous of a basic non blah blah blah. Like, she goes off about Cheyenne. And it's like, girl, she is definitely got you jealous. And rightfully so. Like, let's be clear. Just because you might be a better looking woman, you know you don't have as much to offer as her. Okay? Tries to tell Shooter that Cheyenne is ugly. And I did not like that at all. Like, I seriously did not like that at all. Because, like I say on like almost every video, live in reality, girl. Live in reality. You were just saying to Cheyenne at game night, oh, you too pretty to be acting like that.
You're
too pretty to be acting like that.
Calm down a little bit.
But now you're mad, so now she's ugly. Girl, Cheyenne must got you way more pressed than you believe. And the reason you're really pressed about Cheyenne is because you know Shooter's been lying to you about the extent of the relationship between Cheyenne. So that's really what got you pressed. Because prior to you finding out about Cheyenne, you thought that she was just going to be some fly-by chick. You thought that their relationship was nothing, that Cheyenne was aware that their relationship wasn't serious. And then when you saw how Cheyenne went off at seeing y'all just walk through the door, you realize Shooter's been lying to you too, and that you are not so special, my dear. And even with you sitting here allowing this man to do whatever he wants with the basis of just being honest with you, attached to it, and that's literally the only rule y'all have in your relationship, is for him to be honest with you, he's still been lying to you. So as basic as Cheyenne may be, she must be some sort of something for him to still be lying to you. And if it's not that, then what does that say about you? Be careful what you say about the next woman. And so they meet up. Now, I like the fact that Scrapp has really been supporting his sister. And honestly, his personality, like I said, has really been growing on me. And I'm finding myself to become, you know, a little bit attracted to Scrapp. Even though I know Scrapp is a dog, nonetheless, his interaction with his sister makes him more attractive. So they link up, and Shooter's just trying to have a conversation with Cheyenne. Cheyenne is calm. Cheyenne is just asking him questions about what happened. And Kyiomi will not allow it to happen. For the life of her, she won't. She keeps chiming in. She keeps asking questions. She keeps on trying to come at freaking Shooter, not letting Shooter speak. And my whole thing is, if y'all are in an open relationship, and Shooter is clearly trying to recruit Cheyenne back over and let Cheyenne know, like, what we doing here? Because I'm in an open relationship with her, and I'm trying to be in an open relationship with you. You know what I mean? Like, what's up with that? But Kyiomi's clearly not trying to have it. She's not trying to hear it at all. And so, while Cheyenne and Shooter are trying to, you know, dissect through what happened over this last 2 years, Kyiomi's just like, oh, you let her be around your kids? Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? Like, girl, if you don't shut your ass up, if you were really that bitch, you wouldn't have to do all that. The proof would already be in the pudding. Okay? You wouldn't have to act up. You wouldn't have to go all out. And honestly, in this whole situation, I felt like Cheyenne was on the upper hand, because Cheyenne was letting Kyiomi know that she was the better woman. Because, you know, Shooter was trying to basically cut off, you know, once he saw that things wasn't going anywhere with Cheyenne, because he like, well, listen, she cool with it. And Cheyenne like, of course a dumb bitch will be cool with a nigga fucking with 2 girls.
And
And ooh, Kyiomi because you saw the look on her face. And so Shooter's like, well, what did you expect me to do? You know, when you disappeared for 4 months and you did a no call, no show. A relationship is like a job. You don't show up to a job 4 months out of the blue and think you still got that job. You know, your position has been filled. Or whatever. So while they're talking, you know, Kyiomi goes and sits in the car, and I guess she assumed Shooter was going to follow suit, but Shooter didn't. And now, I feel like the reason Shooter didn't just straight up dismiss Kyiomi was because Scrapp was there. Let's be clear. When I first saw the scene, I was like, well, maybe he's showing Cheyenne that he really cares about her somewhat, and that's why he's giving her the respect of the conversation. But then when I watched it again, I'm like, Scrap. That's what it is. He's not going to disrespect Cheyenne like that while Scrap is standing right there. He has more respect for Scrap than he does for anybody there. Let's be clear. Because he blatantly disrespected Cheyenne. And he blatantly disrespected Kyiomi. Because he showed Kyiomi, because she kept calling his name, she kept going off. He's just like, man, like, he kept brushing her ass off. Like, girl, relax. Girl, relax. You know what I mean? And so, I was really proud of Cheyenne for not getting all amped up and for not letting old girl see her sweat, because old girl was sweating, okay? Old girl was sweating. Kyiomi was sweating. As unbothered as she liked to pretend she was sweating, okay? She was sweating, okay? She was sweating like an Eskimo in Africa, okay? She was sweating, alright? And I liked that the fact that, you know, Cheyenne was holding it together, but then ultimately Kyiomi got Cheyenne to try to fight her, and I hated that, man. It just ruined the whole moment for me. You know what I mean? Because it was like, dang, girl, you was really getting her. You had her pissed off. And if Cheyenne would have just left with Scrap and just would have left, she would have won that battle. She seriously would have won that battle. But she stayed and she ended up trying to fight Kyiomi. And it just made her look so dumb and so pathetic. You're fighting this woman over a man who just told you that he fired you. Pretty much. You're literally trying to fight this girl over a man who just fired you. So I was really sad about it. It was really sad. It was really embarrassing. I got secondhand embarrassment again. So another key moment that we saw in the show was the ski trip with the ladies. So obviously everyone's in the mansion. And they call this the fix-it trip. So the girls want to work on their relationships. We know that Karlie and Sierra were having a very rough patch in their friendship because Sierra jumped Karlie with her assistance. Unbeknownst to her, apparently, she didn't know that her friends had jumped in because she was too busy worrying about the fact that her wig got snatched off. So they finally have a sit down, and I was satisfied with it. You know, Karlie really got what she needed to get off of her chest. She talked to Sierra about what she's had going on with Mo. And, you know, Sierra didn't know these things, which I felt was, like, crazy that she didn't know these things were happening to her best friend. Especially since she's been going so hard at the fact that Karlie hasn't been there for her. And so, Karlie let her know that the reason she hasn't been telling Sierra what's been going on is because Sierra doesn't ask. She acts like she doesn't care, and so Karlie doesn't give her the information. You know what I mean? She checks on Sierra, so she expects Sierra to check on her and ask her what's going on with her sometimes. And so that's when Sierra basically, she took total and complete accountability, which I respect. Now it's time for change behavior. So we're going to have to look and see what happens there. But they basically hashed things out, and Sierra apologized, and Sierra acknowledged the fact that she is definitely selfish. She says that the reason that she's selfish is because she's came from the bottom. She's had nothing, so all she knows how to do is grind, and she doesn't know how to make good connections with people. She doesn't know how to be a real friend because all she's ever done in her life is fight. And I can only respect that and acknowledge that. But now that you are in a position where you are a boss, you have a lot of things going on, and you can afford to get some type of help, there's no more excuses for your behavior. Only change behavior. So if you feel like you have an issue with your connections with people you love, then maybe it's time for you to spend some of that money on getting some mental health, getting some counseling, some therapy, so that you can work on yourself rather than just acknowledging that you have the problem. So, but I really enjoyed that moment. I really enjoyed the interaction between Karlie and Sierra, and, you know, they hugged it out and they made up. And Karlie just let Sierra know, like, I just want you to have my back. That's it. And a lot of times that's really all a good friend really needs. So after that, the ladies get on the van and they're on their way to the ski slopes. And so everyone's in the van. And as we know, Spice and Shekinah are having a rough patch as well, because Shekinah has been making promises to Spice and hasn't been fulfilling them. So while they're on the van, you know, everyone's talking about the fact that Karlie and Sierra had sat down with each other. And so, you know, Sierra was pretty quick and straight to the point, like, yes, we talked it out and we're good. And so Shekinah's like, well, who was at fault? Who did y'all decide was at fault? And Sierra was like, well, I was at fault. And Shekinah's like, well, why you got all the fault? And Sierra was just like, well, it's some things I need to work on with myself and I don't want to talk about it with you. And so Shekinah felt some type of way. She felt like I felt like honestly it was just a straw that broke the camel's back, because she had been getting nitpicked at by Karlie and she's been getting nitpicked at by Spice. So when Sierra just said that one little thing, which I felt like Sierra was completely in her rights to say, me and my best friend had a moment and we just want to keep it between us, I felt like that really bothered Shekinah, because, like, damn, now you too? Like, what is up with everyone being mean to me or coming at me? And so it caused this whole big situation with Spice. They ended up getting off the bus, and, you know, Spice was just telling Shekinah, like, yo, listen, you know I'm not rocking with you right now, so stop talking to me. Keep my name out your mouth. And so while she's saying this, Shekinah is mimicking her, antagonizing her, and being passive-aggressive. As we know, just because you're not saying anything in an aggressive way does not mean you're not being aggressive. So she's picking at Spice, and Spice has enough, and she's like, well, what's up, girl? Because you keep talking about me. You keep talking to me after I'm telling you not to. So do you want to fight or what? Of course, as we know, Shekinah, and she never hides the fact that she is not a fighter, Shekinah goes running off, like we know Shekinah to do, and she's like, girl, I'm over 30 years old, I'm not about to sit here and fight you. We're not about to do this. She like, I got way too much plastic surgery, and I am not about to hit that ground. And I was cracking up about that situation. So, after that, you know, the ladies go on a ski trip. They have a good time. Freaking Bambi, she had enough because, you know, she's pregnant. Everybody's arguing all around her. So she decided to go back to the house. So everybody's going on the skis and they're, you know, they're having a good time. After that, freaking, they end up going to an amusement park. And so Spice and Shekinah, they force them to get on a Ferris wheel together so that they can fix things, because this is the fix it weekend. And so, you know, they talk things out. And honestly, I see a lot of people saying that Spice is wrong. Spice is dragging it. Spice is going overboard with this storyline. But when Spice broke it down to Shekinah why she was upset, it made total and complete sense to me. She tells Spice that, girl, you know that I am trying to get this house for my kids who live in Jamaica right now. And I confided in you to be the one to help me with this. And so when I tell you that I'm going to come on a specific day and I pay for a ticket and I get on a plane and I fly to Atlanta and you just don't answer the phone, what did you expect me to feel like? Did you expect things to be okay? No, of course I'm going to be upset with you and I'm not going to want to be your friend. And I completely understand that. What? I don't know how rich y'all are, but if I was to ever spend my hard-earned cash on a plane ticket anywhere, and I pull up and you are not answering the phone, oh hell no. Oh hell no. I'm done with you. I'm done with you. You done crossed the line, you done violated, and I cannot be your friend anymore. So I completely understood Spice's, you know, feelings about that. One thing I will say about Shekinah is Shekinah apologized to Spice and they made things right, but I did not like the fact that Shekinah was in the freaking confessional talking about something. This is BS. Oh, I didn't answer the phone one time. It doesn't matter that it was one time. It matters that the fact that she took a flight to another freaking city, another freaking state, and you didn't answer the phone. She flew from Jamaica to freaking Atlanta, and you were nowhere to be found not answering the phone because you did not want to help her in the first place. Like, how do you sound to not take accountability for that? And it was like kind of basically the opposite of Sierra, you know. Sierra took complete accountability for what she did to Karlie and where she lacked as a friend, whereas Shekinah was making excuses. And so I didn't like that. You know what I mean? I did not like that. But nonetheless, they made amends and they were good off of that. Another scene with the girls was Sierra getting news from one of her homegirls that BK was in the club doing her dirty. And so, like I said before, Sierra is a low vibrational person. And that's why she attracts men that are so trash. Men that violate her, men that don't respect her, and men that don't value her. And maybe that has something to do with where she came from and her upbringing. You know what I mean? Maybe she never got the love that, you know, sometimes a child needs to know or identify what's right and what's wrong in a relationship. And so basically one of her homegirls let her know that he was in a section with some females and one of the girls was touching all on his face and stuff and being inappropriate. She basically calls him and just asks him, and I feel like she just wanted him to tell the truth, but he was lying, which escalates things. Like, let's be real. Why are you lying, BK? Because BK is a liar and he's no better than Shooter. These men on Love and Hip Hop are trash. Honestly, my favorite couple on Love and Hip Hop right now is Bambi and Scrapp, and we already know Scrapp has had his affairs as well. You know what I mean? So these men on this show are very, very promiscuous, and a lot of them don't know their dick from a stick on a prick. And yes, I just made that up. But yeah, so overall, this was a great episode. I liked this episode. It was a lot going on. You know what I mean? I enjoyed seeing the women. I enjoyed the situation. I felt so bad for Cheyenne. And, you know, I look forward to seeing how Sierra's going to react when she finds out that Kyiomi has been around the kids. Because she did tell Erica that Shooter has had her around the kids. So, Erica is Sierra's friend. So, I know she's going to run back and drop that tea. So, I look forward to seeing how Sierra's going to react when she finds out that Shooter's been having this girl around their kids. And I want to just see what happens with Cheyenne, how she's going to move forward and take it from there. You know what I mean? But don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for the support. And I will catch you guys on the next video. Subscribe. Bye.